We do not seek to impose our way of life on anyone, but rather to let it shine as an example. Like the leaders of other countries should put their country first.
Hi folks, why as an African I'm glad that Donald Trump won the election, and why you should too. If you are from African descent, Pan-African, I'm seeing a lot of Pan-Africans and Africans on the internet throwing a tantrum, complaining about Trump winning the election and making it all about race, identity, politics, while overlooking the bigger picture. But guys, I'm gonna give my opinion and I want you guys to follow through. I think I might have to break them to make a whole episode. This way I can break my information in small chunks to make it easier for y'all to follow along and digest the information. Alright guys, so just follow through. There are gonna be multiple sections. Alright guys, so in the past we all have complained about how the nations in the Western Hemisphere go to the global south and pretty much impose their ways of lives over there, overthrow government, destabilize, etc. But guys, we have to also be able to recognize when a solution is being presented, or when an opportunity for a solution is being presented to us. Alright guys, so let's hear what my points are.
We more and more are not wanting to be the policemen of the world. We're spending tremendous amounts of money for decades on policing the world, and that shouldn't be our priority. We will seek friendship and goodwill with the nations of the world, but we do so with the understanding that it is the right of all nations to put their own interests first. We do not seek to impose our way of life on anyone, but rather to let it shine as an example. We will shine for everyone to follow.
You hear that, guys? Point number one over here. Trump is now about policing the world, and he understands that we cannot impose our ways of lives in other people's countries. So I'm actually glad that he said it, and this is something that we should be rejoicing over. So I don't understand why the Pan-Africans influencers online are throwing a tantrum and making it about race. We have to look at the bigger picture. The guy actually is making some sense over here. Isn't this what you guys want? Like, we all want the US to stop policing the world and telling African nations what to do. Just recently you saw how the Biden regime went to Uganda and was trying to impose them that LGBTQ agenda, the alphabet agenda, and also like how they were going to Kenya and trying to bring some GMOs over there. You were the first one to complain on the internet, but like now that somebody that's against states come in power, you are crying again. So what was all the complaining about? And there are so many points, so many factors about like how the old regimes have pretty much destabilized Africa, destabilized the African continent and exploited it. But when Trump was president, I did not see much of it happening, if any of it happening.
As President of the United States, I will always put America first, just like the leaders of other countries should put their country first also.
That should be common sense for real. That should be common sense. And also, in the clip earlier, he was talking about like, we do not seek to impose our ways of lives overseas, but we can shine and the rest of the world is going to follow when they see us shining. So Trump is trying to transform the US in a way that it can be a light in the world and the world can follow. And we have to take our pride down. Like, most of the people in the world would love to have the American experience. Like, they would love to, because like, what does America have that the world wants? Why do people come to America? Because the economy is strong and they have opportunities. So Trump is telling the world, listen, you guys can do the same thing as us and you're going to have the same stuff in your country too. So just follow what we're doing and you're going to have good results.
But America first does not mean America alone.
You see, America first does not mean America alone, because a lot of Pan-Africans, they're like, no, you're saying America first and let the rest of the world burn. No, that's not true. Trump is doing it differently as compared to other regimes in the past. And I'm going to show it to you guys. Just keep following, keep watching.
When the United States grows, so does the world. A nation.
When the US grows, so does the world. You see over here? Okay, so now here it's going to show you guys, it's going to say why, like how is the US going to shine, that is going to inspire the rest of the world. Matter of fact, it's already happened. Like, look at this, listen to this.
Exists to serve its citizens.
A nation exists to serve its citizen. This is what all the African leaders need to learn, need to understand.
Americans want great schools for their children, safe neighborhoods for their families, and good jobs for themselves.
Yeah, just those three things: good school for their children, safe neighborhoods, and good jobs. Those three things will solve most of the problems in Africa. So, if the African leaders are listening, or just Africans in general, we have to understand that this man is trying to do his best for his country, and is telling other people to do the best for their countries too. Put your countries first. This way, when all of us are strong, we can all come together and advance humanity. It's not about colonizing people, colonizing the world like other people have done in the past. That's why I support this man. I'm going to give him a chance. I stand behind Trump because of what he stands for.
We hope to extend our economic partnerships with countries who are committed to self-reliance and to fostering opportunities for job creation in both Africa and the United States.
See, if he wanted to colonize Africa, he wouldn't say that we want to create jobs in Africa and the US. No, it's about mutual exchange. What can you do for me and I can do for you too? How can we benefit each other? That is mutual respect. That's not colonization.
America is the place to do business. So come to America, where you can innovate, create, and build. Only by insisting on fair and reciprocal trade can we create a system that works not just for the U.S., but for all nations.
See? All the Pan-Africans influencers over here. No, you want the rest of the world to burn. You want to go to Africa and exploit Africa. He wouldn't say this. This is at the World Economic Forum in 2018. He was warning them. He was telling them, listen, care about your country. Let's make some fair trade deal. Let's change the system. Let's not exploit each other. This way, we're going to benefit each of us. And I'm going to show it to you guys soon. I'm going to give you guys an example. But it's talking about mutual exchange. And he's humble enough to accept that Africa can also benefit the USA. Unlike, because like Trump is not a Democrat nor a Republican. He's in the middle, but he's just thought that, okay, because maybe the Republicans maybe like may have some like pride and prejudice against black people, so let me infiltrate the Republican Party, and then I'm gonna change the world. Because a lot of people in America, Republican, Democrats, white, black, they will tell you that no, Africa cannot benefit the US. The US has nothing to gain from Africa. But Trump is telling you that no, actually we can do business with Africa and we can benefit from them. And I'm going to show it to you guys soon. Just keep watching.
As I have said, the United States is prepared to negotiate mutually beneficial bilateral trade agreements with all countries.
Yeah.
The
US is ready to negotiate mutually beneficial contract with any country.
Millennium Challenge Corporation are already considering an investment worth hundreds of millions of dollars in Cote d'Ivoire, which has made impressive economic reforms. Really done a tremendous job.
See, Cote d'Ivoire has cleaned up the house, and made some progress, some changes. Now a US company is willing to go and invest over there. But now, just keep watching because you're going to say, oh, they're going to go and exploit. No, listen to this.
We also hope that African firms like the company Sasol consider making investments in the United States. Sasol, as an example, is building a $9 billion petrochemical plant in Louisiana, which will bring new jobs to the state, and really hardworking Americans will be manning those jobs.
See? If anything, over here, we see that the African company actually has more power, has more investment, has more capital, because, see, is humble enough to admit that Africa can also benefit the USA. The US brought hundreds of millions in Africa, but the African company brings $9 billion in America and creates jobs for Americans too. That is a mutual exchange. Instead of exploiting each other like the US going to Africa, taking those resources for themselves and using that for themselves, in this case over here, Trump is talking about, let's do this. We're going to go to Africa with what we have. Instead of exploiting them, we're going to manufacture whatever we have to do over there in Africa, and that will create jobs for the locals. And instead of taking over the industry and destroy their company, we're going to let the African company also do the same thing, come to America and manufacture things in America while creating jobs for American citizens, but the money is getting paid to Africa because the company belongs to Africans. This way, the money goes to the African company and the money goes to the African economy. This is what you call mutual exchange, mutual respect. This man is changing the game over here. Unlike the Democrats and Republicans, like the establishment regimes, that has pretty much altered Africans' opportunities to advance and invest and develop their own companies. That's why I'm giving this man a chance. I'm African. So I'm talking about me as an African, from an African perspective. Alright?
The United States is currently working to expand trade and commercial ties with African nations, including Nigeria, to create jobs and wealth in all of our countries.
See? So this way now, if you create jobs in Africa, you create all these things, you let Africans develop their companies, you won't have a lot of Africans trying to go to Europe, to go to the United States. People can stay in their own homelands. So it's like it's teaching you how to fish, and not just telling you don't come to my house. No, it's actually telling you don't come to my house, but at the same time too, I want you to do good. So I'm going to teach you how to fish. This way, you can have your house in order, and when we come together, we can benefit each other. We cannot just be out here helping each other and then you're not bringing anything to me. No, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to show you what you have, the power that you have, and you can tap into that power. This way you can develop your house, and then we can now see how we can have a better relationship. We can benefit each other. Because think about it, right? If all the countries in the world just become empty because everyone comes to live in America, how are we going to live? There are not going to be enough jobs for everyone, enough resources for everyone, enough space for everyone. It's going to be a mess. And that's what the globalists want. They want us to compete against each other for jobs, for space, for just everything, to keep fighting like that. This is where they can enslave the whole humanity. But him is like, listen, you guys can stay in your house and do your thing in your house. You don't have to come here every time. And if anything, you have untapped, unlimited potential in your house. And I can show it to you guys, and you guys can tap into it and do something with it.
He started talking with the president about taking down the trade barriers, very substantial barriers to the United States trading with Nigeria. So we think that we are owed that. President Buhari has also taken several steps to fight corruption and improve the Nigerian business climate. And most of all to me, and again, is ripping down those trade barriers.
See, like when he said that Africa was a shithole, I'm glad that he said it. Thank you, Mr. President Trump. I'm glad that he said it. I am glad, because now that thing sheds some light on this incompetent African leaders. Because all of us are affected. Look at, okay, now just look at how like the African that live in the diaspora and even the black Americans are complaining about like how when they go to Africa, they are trying to do business and they get scammed. There is so much corruption because of the corruption. So Trump saying that was a shithole, and he's telling them, listen, you have to fix this thing. This way we can invest in your country. This way people can come back and invest over there. That wasn't for him. That was for us. For us people from African descent. I mean, not only us, for anyone that want to go over there and invest, but that would benefit us too. Because someone like Dikembe Mutombo from Congo is a superstar, basketball superstar, is a millionaire, and he wasn't able to invest in Africa, in Congo. His hospital, he wanted to invest in the healthcare industry. He was very, very motivated and passionate about it. But he faced so much obstacles because of corruption to the point where he wasn't able to finish his project. So someone like him, of that caliber can do it. So what about the average citizen, the average person like us, like the average middle class working person, hard working person? How are we going to do it? So by now, African cleaning up the house, now it makes it easier for us to do what we have to do overseas in Africa. So we should be happy about this man. Stop crying about like, see, the devil always comes as an angel of light, trying to be like, oh yeah, we are about inclusion, we love everyone. That's the Democrats, that's like the old religion, that's the establishment. But they are the racist ones. They are the ones making it difficult for us behind our backs to do anything in Africa. Because they are the ones that support this corruption, these corrupt regimes, that funds them, all this mess.
These measures will make it easier for Nigeria and the United States companies to invest.
See?
And
we make it for Nigerians in the United States and the US companies too to invest. Pretty much that will help all of us, guys.
We will be investing substantially in Nigeria if they can create that level playing field that we have to,
you see,
very much ask for and maybe demand. We cannot have prosperity.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to come with part 2. Part 2 is going to be about security. All right, guys. So you get the point. Donald Trump is giving us an opportunity. He's giving us hope. Forget about identity politics. The devil wants us to focus on all those things like racism, like whites, black, like inclusion, all these things. Meanwhile, he's enslaving us. We've focused on that thing for years and years and years and years. What did that lead us to? Nowhere. But now we got someone that's telling you things like it is, how it is. Listen, this is what it is. But at the same time too, it's teaching you how to fish. Like, it's giving us tough love. This is what you call tough love. Trump is operating from a place of tough love. It means well. He wants the world to be peaceful, to be prosperous. He wants humanity to unite under one goal, for the advancement of the human race. Like, think about it, right? Someone that's helping you, that's giving you the opportunity to develop your country, you are basically rejecting him because you want a handout. That's what you want. You want a handout. Yeah. All right, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm gonna come with part 2 of these episodes. Peace.